The Texas Code of Criminal Procedure article on obtaining a search warrant to photograph an injured child is arguably an artifact from a time before the justice system had access to more modern methods of collecting evidence in child cases. Today, forensic interviews and DNA evidence, collected and analyzed properly, are assets in proving guilt and exonerating wrongly convicted persons. But these methods weren't always available. There was a time when photographic evidence might be needed or even be key evidence, and its need in the future can't be ruled out, particularly for cases of physical abuse. Recall, probably the best way to understand Code of Criminal Procedure requirements related to search warrants is to mentally organize all the things the CCP permits a search warrant to search for into 4 groups. All but one of these categories are things numbered under CCP 18.02. The groups themselves are not found in the CCP, but keeping them mentally organized in this manner will help you understand and keep the differences straight in your mind. We've previously discussed this top group, which might be considered the general or catch-all category, and the very important and somewhat complicated requirements for mere evidence and contraband. In this screencast, we'll discuss the third group, which is not numbered under CCP 18.02 parenthetical A, but rather found under CCP 18.021, issuance of search warrant to photograph injured child. According to the Code of Criminal Procedure, a search warrant may be issued to search and photograph a child who is alleged to be a victim of the Penal Code offenses of injury to a child, sexual assault of a child, aggravated sexual assault of a child, or continuous sexual abuse of young child or disabled individual. The CCP permits the peace officer executing the warrant to be accompanied by a photographer who is employed by a law enforcement agency and who acts under the direction of the officer executing the warrant. Further, it clarifies the photographer is entitled to access to the child in the same manner as the officer executing the warrant. The warrant shall run in the name of the state of Texas, be dated and signed by the magistrate, and the magistrate's name shall appear in clearly legible handwriting or typewritten form with signature. The warrant must identify as near as may be the child to be located and photographed, name or describe as near as may be the place or thing to be searched, and shall command any peace officer of the proper county to search for and cause the child to be photographed. After executing the warrant, the peace officer shall take possession of the exposed film and deliver it to the magistrate. It's important to note the CCP states the child may not be removed from the premises on which he or she is located unless the health and safety of the child are at risk as specified under the Texas Family Code. Since photographing a child may involve sensitive areas of the child's body, the CCP states a search warrant under this section shall be executed by a peace officer of the same sex as the alleged victim, or if the officer is not of the same sex as the alleged victim, the peace officer must be assisted by a person of the same sex as the alleged victim. The person assisting the officer must be acting under the direction of the officer and must be with the alleged victim during the taking of the photographs. This section is slightly confusing, but it would seem the sex of the photographer is not relevant, but the sex of the person assisting must be the same as the child. It is unclear if the person assisting and the photographer may be one and the same. Finally, a search warrant may not be issued to photograph an injured child unless the affidavit sets forth sufficient facts to establish probable cause, a specific offense has been committed, a specifically described child has been a victim of the offense, evidence of the offense or that a particular person committed the offense can be detected by photographic means, and the child to be searched for and photographed is located at the particular place to be searched.